perception of the franchise, who hadn't had much attention in recent years.
Yeah, CJ's done an unbelievable job. I mean, in his rookie year, to come in and to not only perform the way he performed, but to lead the organization the way he led it. The press conferences, the way he handles himself, the way he handles his teammates, the way he brings everybody together. I mean, DeMeco and CJ, and along with everybody else in that organization this year, have made it great for Houston Texans fans to wear their gear around town again, to be proud, to go out in public and tout their team. And I think that it doesn't surprise me. I definitely saw them being successful this season because I know who DeMeco is and I know what he was going to do. But I think it definitely surprised people outside of the organization, people outside the city. But it's a time for Houston Texans fans to be proud, and I have a feeling that's going to continue and only rise from here.
How does he continue on that trajectory? You had a successful year, especially towards the end of your rookie year, and then you continue to extend. CJ is going to have to do the same thing. How does he continue that trend?
I mean, I don't see him having any issue with it because of who he is and how he works, and he understands what it takes to be great. He knows what's important, he works at what's important, and that will take you where you want to go. I always tell young guys, you know, the lifestyle and all the great things that come along with being an NFL player, it rises exponentially when you're successful on the field. So always make sure you keep the main thing, take care of what matters first, and everything else that comes along with it will come. And I think CJ fully well understands that.
JJ, your last couple of years you were in Arizona with Cliff Kingsbury. He's back in the NFL now with the Commanders. What's Washington getting with Cliff?
I love Cliff. He's a great guy. Cliff and I are good buddies. We'll be buddies for the rest of our lives. I love him. He's a very creative play caller. He's going to find ways all sorts of different ways to get into different looks, to get the ball to different guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing him back in the NFL and seeing some of his creativity in the play calling. One of my favorite plays that he's ever run was in my last game when he got the touchdown to A.J. Green. It was a crazy drawn-up play, and Cliff told me, it's a great story, but I've told it a couple times, but we were at breakfast the morning before the game, and every morning of the game, I go over and I ask the offensive coordinators, I say, hey, what's the first play of the game? And they always tell me, this or that. And I went over to him the morning of my last game, and I said, all right, Cliff, what's the first play today? And he goes, all I'm going to say is have your helmet ready, because we're either going out on defense or we're kicking off because we just scored a touchdown. And sure as shit, we went out there and scored a touchdown on the very first play to A.J. Green. And I grabbed my helmet, I went over to him like, you weren't kidding. It was crazy, so it was a cool moment.
Is Cliff the right guy? Let's say they go quarterback at number 2 in Washington. Is Cliff the right guy to develop that kid?
I'm looking forward to watching it and seeing it. I mean, it's a fascinating situation for Washington. Obviously, Cliff has the Caleb connection, so I'm really looking forward to it. He's got some great play calls, and he can put them in good situations, so it'll be fun to watch.
Thanks. My Botox from Sun Prairie.
Very nice. Great spot.
JJ, in your mind, what do the Bills need to do to get over the Chiefs?
The Bills?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's an extremely touchy subject at the moment right now with the way Bills fans are feeling. Obviously, the last game, a couple of very small things go the other way, and we're not even having that discussion or having those conversations. So I think one of the things that it becomes very hard for teams is just that. That kick goes in, we're having a completely different conversation right now. But it doesn't, and so now we're talking about what do they need to do, and people are coming up with these massive concepts. Okay, how do we change this? How do we change that? Sometimes it is just that was a rough way to go, and you want to compare that to the past because of all the wide rights and all of the stuff, but you can't look at it always like that. Sometimes you have a really good team, and football's football, man. It's a very tough game, and you got it. Yes, are there things you can improve and things you can do better? Absolutely. But if that kick goes a few more feet to the left, all of a sudden we're not having a conversation.
In one Super Bowl, the difference is the quarterback.
Yes, the difference is absolutely the quarterback in the Super Bowl. Just like every game, the quarterback's the most important position in the NFL, so this game is definitely going to be no different, and there's two very good ones in this game.
JJ is a guy who moonlighted as a tight end at times in your career. Can you just talk about what sets Kelsey and Kittle apart, in your opinion?
They're two great tight ends. I mean, they're very different in their games, but they are very, very good at what they do. Travis he can find ways to get open, and as a defensive lineman, sometimes I turn around after the ball is thrown, and I'm like, guys, it's Travis Kelce. How is he that open? But he finds ways. He sits into these zones. He gets into these patterns, and he has such a great chemistry with Mahomes. And then Kittle does very similar things in the pass game. Can get open, can find ways, can catch any ball. But he also is dominant in the run game. He can block. He can stick his nose in there. So they're two of the best in the league. and I have a feeling they're going to continue to be for a while unless Trav, I mean, he can go as long as he wants because he's still at the top of his game.
JJ,
someone who knows the UK really well, what's your thoughts on the continued internationalization of the NFL?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's fascinating. Every time I go over there, more and more people know about the game, are very knowledgeable about the game, ask questions, and so it's really cool, and I think it's only going to continue to grow because the UK fans and fans all over the world have really been enjoying it, and I've been enjoying seeing that part as well.
speaking about the UK,
I've thoroughly enjoyed every single aspect of the Burnley situation so far. I have no problem saying that we absolutely would love to be in a better position than we're in the table at the moment. But the passion, the energy, the fans, it has been an incredible experience. And if I'm here right now showing like I'm as energetic right now at the bottom of the table as I am when we're successful, when we're doing great. So I'm going to be over there for a month and a little while. I'm looking forward to it. But I love Burnley, I love the people, and we're going to be all right.
what's your favorite Burnley memory?
My favorite Burnley memory so far is winning the championship last year, the parade, the trophy, all of that came with it. It was incredible. I was the kid that did nothing on the group project and somehow got an A, and I loved every second of it.
JJ, as a huge Steelers fan, knowing that you were really close to retirement, considering joining your brothers, how close was that reality to you putting on the black and gold?
Mid-season this year, when I was in Pittsburgh visiting with TJ and he was getting ready for the game, he had his music on, he had his coffee, and he was going to the stadium. That was hands down the first time where I was like, I missed. Like I missed this feeling, and that was close. But then the next morning, when he woke up sore from the game and had all the bruises and everything, and I was fresh with my coffee, doing a little walk around the neighborhood, I was like, I'm good. So it wasn't. But I mean, playing with my brothers, playing for a historic organization like that, it would have been incredible. It just wasn't in the cards.
JJ, the Giants just hired Shane Bowen as their defensive coordinator. I know he was a defensive assistant, a younger coach. Just wondered what your recollections of him are, what makes him a good fit for...
Yeah, Bo's a great guy. I mean, he was an assistant D-line coach with us down there in Houston, so I can't speak to him as D coordinator. I mean, he's obviously done a good job so far with Vrabel up there in Tennessee and everything, but Shane's a good guy. I like him. He's a great man.
What about him made him a good coach?
Just a good dude. I mean, just a good guy, like hanging out, just down to earth, normal guy, having good conversations. Yeah.
JJ, we're going to do about 5 more.
In the last few years in regards to you going to Guinness and Dublin, what's your affinity? Like, I know you're a big fan of Burnley in the Northwest, but you find Ireland special as well?
I love Ireland. It's a phenomenal place. It's a great place. Been there many times. Spent time all over the country. Been obviously in Dublin many times, but been down to Dingle, Castle Gregory, been over to the Cliffs of Moher, been up on the north side. So I've been all over. I enjoy it thoroughly, and I think it reminds me in a certain way of Wisconsin where I grew up. I mean, pub culture is certainly alive and well, and just good down to earth people.
Just finally, how awesome would it be to see a game in Ireland?
Oh, it'd be great. I mean, I attended Ireland versus France Six Nations a while back at Aviva, and phenomenal experience. Really enjoyed it. So I hope I myself get back there at some point. And I've obviously had the Irish rugby men over in Houston when they visited a few years back. So they can put some pints down. There's no question about that.
We're about 5 minutes here, and then we're going to switch over to Coward. So 5 minutes here, then we'll switch over there.
JJ, do you have a favorite fantasy football player for the next season?
I'm not a big fantasy football guy. I always said during my career I preferred the real thing, and but I mean, Christian McCaffrey setting the touchdown record for the 49ers. I feel like it's very tough to pick anybody other than him at the moment.